Hello everyone. Happy Valentine's Day to you all. Happy Hearts Day. I wish you all the best in life. I pray that you are having fun with your families. All right. So as of today, I am going to discuss on this live podcast for the part 2 of the great Naoya Inoue, the monster of Japan. All right, boxing. All right. So as the title says, the question and answer portion, one-on-one, uh, on the interview with Naoya Inoue by the Ring Magazine. Ring Magazine is the most prestigious boxing website, boxing publications in the entire planet Earth. Okay? The Ring Magazine, the Bible of boxing. Cha! So, before that, I'm going to run fast about the latest boxing updates as of today, February 14. Happy Valentine's Day again. Happy Hearts Day to you all. Yesterday, Canelo Alvarez, the face of boxing, the king of boxing when it comes to cash cow, when it comes to business of boxing. He said that he will be fighting this coming May 4th, 2024, Cinco de Mayo weekend. That would be Saturday. All right, and he said that he will be fighting against an American. He did not mention against Mexican, so it will be American. With that being said, there are three American boxers that is being or are being linked with him. One is Jermal Charlo. I do believe he is the front runner, the elder brother, the elder twin. Second is David Benavides. Yes, David Benavides, by blood and ethnicity, he is a Mexican, but he was born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona, United States. So I would say David Benavides is also an American by citizenship, by nationality, not by blood, not by ethnicity. And the third one is Terence Bud Crawford. Uh, he will be the third American boxer or fighter that would be front runner, but the leading man is Jermal Charlo, and he said he will be announcing officially the fight this coming weekend, February around 17 or 18, February 18 maybe, and it will be produced of course by the main television network of Mexico, which is TV Azteca or Box TV Azteca. Okay, the main television network of Mexico, and it will be free to all Mexican people around Mexico. So credit to Canelo Alvarez and to the TV Azteca, the television network of Mexico, to produce it, broadcast it free to all Mexican people. So congratulations to Mexican people. All the remaining fights for the next 5 years, as Canelo said, he will be retiring from boxing as active boxer after 5 years. So that would be for 2029. And the Mexican people will be watching his entire fights until the remaining of his active professional boxing free. All right, that's a good news for the Mexican people. And yes, there will be a fight next 2 weeks from now, or less than 2 weeks from now, February 24 in Japan, wherein the brother of Naoya Inoue, the brother of our topic today, Takuma Inoue, will be fighting against a Filipino warrior, Jerwin Ancahas. Inoue versus Ancahas will be fighting for the World Boxing Association bantamweight title, 118 pounds. And the undercard is another Filipino, which is Jonas Sultan, will be fighting against a four-fighter boxer. So, there, that's another boxing update. And, of course, March 30, there will be a big fight, the first pay-per-view fight for the PBC banner, Premier Boxing Champions, via Amazon Prime. Okay? And the main event is Keith Thurman versus the one time against Tim Tszyu of Australia. And they will be fighting in Las Vegas, okay, March 30. They will be fighting for a catch weight of 155 pounds, not 154 title bout. It is a non-title bout. Catch weight 155 pounds. All right? And on May, yes, there will be a lot of big fights. May 4 is Canelo Alvarez versus I would use the name Germán Charlo. May 6th, it will be Naoya Inoue versus Luis Neri of Mexico. They will be fighting in Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan. Okay, a seating capacity of more than 50,000. And then on May 11, May 12, it will be Vasily Lomachenko versus George Kambosos. They will be fighting for the vacant IBF lightweight championship, 135 pounds. It will be held in Australia. Okay, and on May 18, there will be a big fight again. Hopefully, Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk will push through because the previous date, February 17, was postponed, cancelled and postponed. So Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk for the undisputed heavyweight championship. Okay, for all the marbles. It will be held in Kingdom Arena in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And on June 1st, June 1, another big fight. It will be held again in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in Kingdom Arena between the light heavyweight pound for pound champions, Artur Beterbiev of Russia versus both of them are greatest fighter as of this current time, 2024. Okay? So now let's move on to our main topic, which is Naoya Inoue one-on-one interview by the Ring Magazine, part 2. This is our part 2. Okay, and I will read it verbatim, okay? So the article dated February 13. It was actually late before I sleep because I checked the Ring Magazine website yesterday. It was not yet published around 10 o'clock. So maybe they posted it like around 11 o'clock already in the evening. So here we go. The Ring Magazine, the Bible of Boxing. Naoya Inoue question and answer portion, part 2. 3 fights in 2024. Featherweight in 2025, appealing to American fans. And Inoue, sorry for our signal. Okay, so let's go. Pardon me for my signal. And Inoue said, I'm planning on fighting three times this year, 2024. And I'm sure these 3 fights will take place at super bantamweight. My move to featherweight will depend on how I feel and how my body feels next year. Okay? Are you fighting in May, September, and December? And then he replied, Yes, probably around that time. Next question. You previously told me that your weight ceiling is going to be featherweight division. Is that still the case? Inoue replied, yes. Most likely, I will only move up to featherweight. Next question. I feel like your thoughts on your weight division ceiling is not well understood by overseas fans. Some people are still clamoring for a fight with lightweight belt holder Gervonta Davis, but that won't happen. Your reason for moving up in weight class is not because you think you can win or make money, but rather to move up to a division where you can perform at your best. Am I correct? Naoya Inoue replied, yes, you are correct. And right now, the weight division where you can perform your best is at super bantamweight or junior featherweight, and probably featherweight in the future. Inoue replied, yes, that's about it. I always want to show the best Naoya Inoue. I wouldn't decide to start fighting at featherweight or super featherweight just because the money is good. I don't think that's what I want. There are many fighters who have chased the money but ended up not being able to perform well and quit. The reason I box is not for the money. I did this to show my best self. It is also true that I'm motivated by fighting strong opponents, but there are weight class divisions in boxing for a reason. So for the three previous questions, Inoue said that he will be fighting 3 fights this year, 2024, and that would be May, which is May 6th, and then September, and then on December. The question being asked about the division weight class 126 pounds, be it happening on December, this December 2024 or next year, 2025. Actually, if you check his previous interview last year, December, with his uh, promoter and the owner of Ohashi Gym, they already said that on this year, December of 2024, they might fight already at 126 pounds. They just make this question to make sure if they change it straight, all 3 fights in 122 pounds are on 122 pounds. But I still do believe on December of 2024 this year, he will be moving up in 126 pounds for a championship. It should be a championship. He will not fight not a championship title, all right? So next question. And right now, the weight division where okay. Is it difficult to make weight even at super bantamweight? Then he replied, I usually weigh around 64 or 65 kilograms. So in pounds, it says 141 or 143 pounds. So Inoue said that in between fights, he balloons himself to up to 141 to 143 pounds. Meaning to say, his body is accustomed already for a junior welterweight class or junior welterweight division. I still believe that being as 5 feet and 5 inches, Inoue is 5 feet 5 inches, 1 inch shorter than Pacquiao. His most or highest ceiling is at 140 pounds. He can make that happen. That will be his most heaviest weight. And he can perform well. Not 147 on his height of 5'5". Pacquiao was 5'6" or 5'6", okay, 5 feet 6 inches. And he was able to compete at 147 very well. Pacquiao, if you remember, he fought Miguel Cotto, Timothy Bradley, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Chris Algieri, Ray Vargas, Lucas Matisse, Adrian Broner, uh, Kit Thurman, and many more elite fighters at 147. And to think Pacquiao is only 5 feet 6 inches. 5'6". Pacquiao. Naoya Inoue is 5'5". Okay? Inoue is 5'5". 5 feet 5 inches. So I would say the highest ceiling of Naoya Inoue is 140 pounds. 140 pounds. Junior welterweight or super lightweight. He can compete that division very well. Alright? So, let's move on. And when you move up to featherweight, will you have to add muscle to your body? He replied, I don't need to build my body up to move up to featherweight. I'll move up once my body naturally grows into the heavier weight class. This has been the case throughout my professional career. Next question. You have mentioned Terence Crawford's name earlier. So, have you been paying more attention to your pound-for-pound rival lately? Inoue replied, I try to pay attention to it. However, I don't really watch heavyweights or the heavier weight classes. I know Alexander Usyk is supposed to fight Tyson Fury this February 17, but the heavier weight classes are so different that I don't feel like watching. So Naoya Inoue doesn't feel like watching of those heavier weight classes, okay? Or checking it out. It's just a different kind of boxing than mine. It's almost a complete different sport. So if we are trying to dissect of what he said here, uh, the heavier weight classes are so different that I don't feel like watching or checking it out. It's just a different kind of boxing than mine. It's almost a complete different sport. So from what Naoya Inoue stands, the heavier weight classes when it comes to boxing is different from Naoya Inoue. I would say based on my observation, evaluation, analysis, observation on boxing for the past 40 years and so, the heavier weight classes are, their fighting styles are way off or way different from the lower weight classes. It is not as much as skills, the gracefulness, okay? The art of boxing is not that much shown compared to the lower weight classes where you can see the counter punching styles, the bob and weave, the feints compared to heavier weight classes. It's just like a matter of clinching and the one-twos. The jab, the cross, and then clinch, hug, and then move a little bit compared to the lower weight classes wherein you can see the gracefulness, the art or the science of boxing that will show how graceful or how artistic the fighters are. Okay, there are very few, to be honest, that boxers are very graceful or artistic. Is Roy Jones Jr. Of course, Sugar Ray Leonard. Okay, maybe Pernell Whitaker. Uh, they are very artistic, very stylistic. Floyd Mayweather Jr., Guillermo Rigondo, okay, Willie Pep, who else that very artistic. Of course, there's a British, who is this? Prince Nassim Hamed. Prince Nassim Hamed, one of the stylistic, very artistic fighter, all right, in boxing. And many, very few, just few. Okay. So what else? Another question. You're not the type of person who watches boxing all the time, are you? And he said, no, I am not. I watch when my stablemates from the Ohashi gym fight, but I'm usually not really interested in the fights overseas that much, to be honest. So Naoya Inoue said he is not uh, a type of a person, a boxer that keep on watching fights outside Japan. Outside Japan, okay? Especially those in the heavyweight classes. Next question. Since winning both the Ring Magazine and the Boxing Writers Association of America Fighter of the Year honors, do you care more about crossing over to an extent with the American boxing public? And he replied, I'm starting to care about that a lot. Winning an award like the Fighter of the Year should help my status. I don't live in the United States, so I have no idea how many people are interested in boxing or how many of them are interested in me. But I'm starting to pay attention to online articles more. So, Naoya Inoue said that he's starting already to read all these articles about him, especially in America, right after when he received the news about him to be awarded as the Fighter of the Year by the Ring Magazine and also by the BWAA, Boxing Writers Association of America. Okay, next question. Your self-awareness has changed a little as your global reputation has increased. And he replied, well, that's true. Ever since I entered the pound-per-pound rankings and started to climb to the top, I've started paying more attention to it. Okay, next question. Will you and your Japanese-based promoter, Mr. Hideyuki Ohashi, consider future fight dates in the United States? Inoue replied, I always have a desire to fight in the United States. Yes, I definitely want to fight there again. However, Japan is now becoming a big market too. I think the reason behind wanting to capture the American dream is that if you accomplish something in the United States, name recognition and big money will follow. But nowadays, in the streaming era, if you are successful in Japan, you can make millions even in the lighter weight divisions. That's why Stephen Fulton came to Japan and the big fights are easier to make in Japan. So it's in Japan, all right? Money-wise, if you are in the lower weight class, it's better for you to fight in Japan because Japan is a big market when it comes to boxing, lower weight classes. Oh. Next question. Right, this is the era of the Japanese dream, especially for smaller fighters. Yes, everyone wants to fight in Japan. I feel that things are changing in that direction. Originally, everyone wanted to fight in America because there was an opportunity to make big money thanks to a system like pay-per-view. Nowadays, Japan has become the stage that lighter weight class fighters aspire to compete in. Okay. Next question. I think you are the fighter that started this movement. Recently, you have become the champion. Okay, pardon me for my weak signal. Okay. Pardon me for my weak signal, okay? Because it's already almost noon time and a lot of people are using the internet or I think you're the fighter that started this movement recently. You have become the champion that many notable fighters want to fight. Do you feel your opponents are studying you more lately? Inoue replied, of course, I feel that I'm being studied. In the latest fights against Marlon Tapales, I got the impression that Tapales was fighting more defensively. Of course, I think he fought because it was against me. But when champion class fighters just focus on defense, it's difficult to make an exciting fight. If I keep my distance, use my legs, and jab, and fight defensively, I can make the fight less exciting too. So Naoya Inoue was asked during the fighting styles of his or him, the latest was against Marlon Tapales. And he said, during the fight of Marlon Tapales, he was his impression was that why Marlon Tapales become a defensive boxer. Okay, he was thinking that Marlon Tapales will be aggressive because even during the pre-fight interview of Marlon Tapales, when he was asked, when he was in Baguio City during his final 3 weeks before the fight, Marlon Tapales said that he will be more aggressive because he wants to score a knockout, okay, to score a stoppage against Naoya Inoue. Then Inoue said that during that fight, Marlon Tapales was a defensive boxer. Okay? Now, if he said that if he will be fighting defensively as well, using his legs, then the fight will be boring. Okay? If we are going to dissect, if we are going to analyze and evaluate all the fights of Naoya Inoue, he is always an exciting fighter to watch. I would say, since Manny Pacquiao era, which is Pacquiao was the most exciting boxer, for that era, even prior to that time, Naoya Inoue is now the most exciting fighter. Naoya Inoue. All his fights, from his pro debut until his Marlon Tapales fight, Naoya Inoue is the most exciting fighter for the past 10 years, before or after Manny Pacquiao. Okay? Manny Pacquiao was the most exciting fighter for since 2000s. All right? Okay, let's move on. Question. So, you did not think Tapales was actually trying to win? Okay. So, this is a question from the Ring Magazine. So, you did not think Tapales was actually trying to win? Question mark. And Inoue replied, I'm curious as to what he was thinking when he chose to fight. So, Naoya Inoue was really curious on why Marlon Tapales was fighting defensively. Because as we have watched and read all those Marlon Tapales before the fight, he really wants to to score a knockout against against Inoue. So, but during the fight, Marlon Tapales was fighting defensively. Alright? Next question. What do you think about the opinion that the effectiveness of your punches has decreased a little after moving up to super bantamweight? He replied, I am still confident that if I hit someone, he is a power artist, correct me if I'm wrong, percent knocked out ratio. Naoya Inoue. That is for a reason. He is a knockout artist, legitimately. Alright? And he said, it's just that the pieces did not fit together against Tapales. So he really mentioned Marlon Tapales because Marlon Tapales really fought defensively. Okay? Defensively. Okay? Even the 2 knockdowns were not as crisp as I wanted. Rather, it was a steady attack that caused him to fall down in disgust. Okay. Next question. Are you now in the latter half of your career? Or are you nearing entering the last 5 years? Thinking of the first 5 years, the middle 5 years, and the last 5 years. Okay. Next question. But you don't feel like you have passed your prime yet, do you? And he replied, no, not at all. Next question. Do you feel you are in your absolute prime now? He replied, now I can objectively look at what I want to do in the ring more, and I am able to bring into the fight. I tend to attack from the beginning and up until now, thanks to the experience I had accumulated over the decades. My body was able to respond even when I was nervous or my mind was blank. Recently, however, I tend to think first in the ring, stay calm, and then act. My mental game during the fights has been changing. Next question. That's a positive thing, right? And he replied, it's extremely positive. Next question. Last time we spoke, you said you were not sure if you wanted to stay in boxing after retiring from being a professional fighter. How do you feel now? Inoue replied, what do you think? I think I will be involved in boxing, most likely. To carry on what Mr. to the accomplishment of Mr. Ohashi. I think it will be extremely difficult to continue this way. And I think it's up to the people who come after him to bring it down or improve it. Then the last question. So, do you want to become Mr. Ohashi's successor? Inoue replied, what I'm doing now as an active fighter is important, of course, but I'd like to continue building on what Mr. Ohashi has created. I believe that's how I'd like to repay him for racing and guiding me so well. And that's the end of the question and answer of Naoya Inoue by the Ring Magazine. Okay, posted last night. Okay, last night, 11 o'clock, February 13, 2024. The question and answer part 2. Naoya Inoue will still be fighting. Hello, signal. Based on what I've read and understand, Naoya Inoue will still be fighting 5 years from now. It will be the same time frame with Canelo Alvarez. Okay, Canelo Alvarez said yesterday on his live official announcement with the TV Azteca in Mexico, he will still be fighting 5 years from now. So Naoya Inoue is this will be active in boxing 5 years from now. And he also said that Marlon Tapales last December was fighting defensively. All right. And he is not that much fan, okay? Meaning he doesn't like to watch those heavier boxer fighting because he is not that excited that much, okay? Especially those on the heavyweights. He feels that it's like they are different sports actually, he said, okay? And he wants to fight again in here in the United States of America. So, yeah. I think that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your day, the rest of your day with your family. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Hearts Day. And be blessed to everyone. Be safe and stay healthy. Alright? Army strong. Ho!